Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, Solana formed a new high once again. And the question is, should you buy Solana Sol? Should you become a soulmate holder? Or should you become a soulmate? At $170. That is the question. Well, I'm going to try to answer it. And also show you another way you can profit off of Solana's growth without actually buying more of Solana, without having to do that. So there is something else you can do. Well, let's take a look and discuss what that is. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new to streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. All right, welcome, guys. Welcome. There's some big news. Besides Solana, of course, Bitcoin had a big move up. I was talking about 52,000. Can it break through 52,000? Well, yes, it did. It's at 52,500. So officially is well above 50,000 and above that 49.5 mark that Bitcoin had very hard time, breaking, right? So it is now on its way to $60,000. And there's reason for that. Well, at least there's one reason, I think. Let me get this. Where's all my fancy lines? They all disappeared. Here we go. So you could see that clearly we are breaking up. We are now utilizing this 49.5 as a support. And boom, pretty soon we'll be at $60,000. It looks like, right? So the big thing is this, El Salvador. So President Nayib have been tweeting out about all the Bitcoins that they're buying for their citizens. Now, it makes me wonder where they're buying from because it seems like it had an immediate impact on Bitcoin's price. So he tweeted out saying that he bought 200 and there will be a lot more. And then he bought another 200, so it's 400. But in total, they're going to buy about $20 million, which, if you think about it, shouldn't affect anything. $20 million on, a $1 trillion shouldn't affect the price. But a lot of people are very, very enthusiastic and looking forward to this event, which is coming tomorrow. The very first country to make Bitcoin legal tender and the very first of many that are going to follow, right? A lot of countries have been talking about doing the same thing, looking at El Salvador as a test case, as a test bed before they jump in. And this is going to be huge. And obviously we're seeing some good movement for Bitcoin. We haven't seen any huge, tremendous pumps for Bitcoin as of late. It's more like slow and steady rise. And that's fine. That's perfect, right? Because the slower it goes, the more it's inclined to hold those gains, right? When we see periods where Bitcoin goes up really rapidly, that's when we usually see volatility and see it come down too. Right now, it's just like slow and steady. That's why these dips that we have seen within the past few weeks, you could see that, a couple dips here and there, but they're very tame. And that's because we're also going up very slowly too. But we're surely and slowly making up to $60,000. And that could come, who knows, maybe as soon as tomorrow. And while that's happening, of course, you know what? The market cap is going up. We're well above $2.4 trillion now. And besides Bitcoin, you just can't ignore this one altcoin that I've been talking a whole lot about. And that is, of course, Solana, which is now at $171. And it has formed another high. Just this morning, when I was streaming, I was talking about, can Solana double? Okay. From 150 to 300, well, it's gone up another $20 since then. And from last week, it was about like 100-ish, 120-ish. So it is on an unstoppable run, right? But I'm going to give you guys another way to make money, I believe, from Solana's rise without actually buying more Solana. Some of you guys got in early when I recommended it. It was about $30 or $40, right? Those of you guys that got in early, congratulations. Those of you guys that have been DCAing upwards, generally that's not a good idea, but sometimes with very, very, very hot altcoins, it works out, and that has been working out very, very nicely with Solana. I mean, you could argue that Michael Saylor has also done the same thing with Bitcoin. He bought Bitcoin below 10,000 and started dollar cost averaging on the way up. And it has worked out for him as well, right? So sometimes if you do the proper research and you pay attention to the fundamentals, that trumps everything else. Sometimes it even trumps logic, but most of the time it trumps FUD and even FOMO and TA. Sometimes fundamentals is the only thing that you should concentrate on. There's a lot of it and a lot of good of it. I don't even know that's the proper way to say it. A lot of good fundamentals to Solana. Also, something else I want to mention. This is not about Solana, but BTC. German asset manager Unit Investments seeks BTC exposure for several funds. Why this is important? Because several weeks ago, a German law was passed and it allows investment companies and asset managers in Germany to have up to 20% of their portfolio in Bitcoin. We haven't really heard much from this until now. So we're going to start seeing more asset managers, investment companies, and venture capitalists, companies from Germany, starting to invest in Bitcoin. So that is also very, very, very positive. All right, so what else is there? Lastly, I want to talk about this. Well, no, not lastly, but something else I want to talk about this. Someone just brought this to my attention. Steph Curry. We know that he bought an NFT recently, but now he's starting to get interested in crypto, and he wants advice. And everyone from Jason, my buddy, to Gary, to Tom Brady is chiming in. And of course, I had to tweet him back saying, hey, you want to learn about crypto, come on to my show, do an interview with me, and I'll teach you everything you need to know. Not that I expect him to reply, but if he does, that would be fantastic. So there is something else there. So Steph Curry, NBA players, celebrities, they're all starting to pay attention, mostly due to NFTs, but now they're looking at the bigger pictures. What else is there besides NFT? Is it just all collectibles, or is there more? That's what we want, right? That's what we want. We want everyone to get exposed, everyone to understand what crypto is really all about, and then we can all prosper together. All right. So with that said, okay, of course, Solana, I mentioned, has been going up in a big, big, big way, right? I don't know what else there is to say about Solana at this point, right? Those of you guys that have paid attention to me for forever, basically, you've heard me say all the good things about Solana. Oh, by the way, in case you want to buy and hold Solana tax-free, you may want to think about doing so on my partner's platform, I Trust Capital. I forgot to mention this. This is probably important to mention that. So if you wanted to trade or buy or hold Solana tax-free until you retire, check them out on I Trust Capital with your 401k, with your Roth IRA. This is the way to do it if you want to avoid paying taxes. But going back to Solana, I've talked about it so much, I don't know what else to say. It's a very, very fast blockchain. It's already complete. One could argue that it's a more complete or robust and scalable chain than even Cardano and Ethereum at this point, because it is done. It could scale up to 50,000 transactions. Right now, it's about 2,000 transactions per second. It's near feeless, and you have a whole bunch of dApps coming on board, and it's backed by Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX and Alameda, and he is all in on Solana and the whole ecosystem. So I've said that so many times. But the one thing I haven't talked about, and I think this is the other way you can profit from Solana, is NFTs. So today I decided to look at the biggest NFT marketplace there is on Solana, called Solana Art, and it blew my mind. Okay, there's a few that I've heard of before, but there's a few collections I have not heard of before, and I do believe they are driving. It's kind of like what do you call it? It's NFTs on Solana. I think they're being driven up because of Sol's price rise, but vice versa, it's also helping contributing to Sol's price rise, right? So I think they go in tandem, and this is another way. So I want to look at this real quick with you guys. But to answer the question, should you buy Solana at 170? It may seem reckless to make that recommendation at this point, all right? People will always say that. Hey, you can't buy something when it's on its way up. You can't buy it when it's possibly this high. But I have made videos and I've said I do believe Solana is going to at least double from here to be at Cardano's level. And I don't think it's going to stop there, nor do I think Ethereum or Cardano or Binance Smart Chain or any of these are going to stop here, because I don't believe BTC is going to stop here at 52,600 within this cycle. I do believe Bitcoin will continue to go up to be above 100,000, to go land somewhere between 150 to 200,000. I honestly believe that is where it's going to be within the next 3 to 4 months. It may seem like that's an impossible time scale to meet that, but no, that's just how it is with Bitcoin and its 4-year cycle and all the adoption that I've been telling you guys about. So if that's going to happen, everything, at least I take it back, not everything, all the good projects that have the network effect, that does have the attention, that does have institutional interest, they're all going to continue to rise up. The ones that also support all the latest and fanciest dApps and the most used marketplaces like Ethereum and Cardano and Binance Smart Chain and now Solana, Polkadot, and the list goes on and on and on. All these will continue to go. So if you're thinking that 170 is the peak for Solana and that it's dangerous to buy in, I just disagree with that. Because I do believe by the end of this cycle, it will at least double, but it'll probably be much higher than there. Now, with that said, does that mean you just like go all in at Solana right now, like just put everything in there? No. That's not what I'm saying. You still have to be responsible, minimize your risk, dollar cost average in or sprout your buys. But I will say that I do really believe that Solana is going to go much higher. And something else that's driving this is NFTs. NFTs are just getting hotter, right? So going back to the Solana art, I think a lot of you guys heard of Degen Ape Academy. Okay, so this is the biggest NFT collection within Solana's ecosystem right now. So if you click in the Explore collection, before I go on, there's some super chats. I want to make sure I don't miss them, but they're pretty big here. Geostone, hello George from Melbourne, Australia. Can you see ADA hitting $9 this year and Solana had 900 this year? Yes to both questions. Cardano hitting $9, that's 3x from here. I think Bitcoin will, so 3x, no problem. Solana 3x from here would put it at what? Like 500-ish. To go 900-ish, it'll probably have to go 6x, 5 to 6x. A little ambitious, but it is possible. It is possible. It could hit 1,000 by the end of this year. All right, so what else is there? Let me scroll down. Young Shin, thank you. Big super sticker. What else is there? Mr. McSnuffy, hey, I'm just about to get to it. Saying that NFTs and NFT games may be the driver for Solana's price rise. Yes. Ernest, hey, always appreciate it. And I think that's it for Super Chats. Okay. So looking at Degenerative Ape Academy. So if you look at up here, up on top here, you see the floor price. For those of you guys that are not familiar with NFTs, the floor price basically means this is the minimum that you can find an NFT for within this collection, which at this point in time is 83.5. 83.5. I don't know if you guys realize how much that is. If you do 83.5 times 172, that puts the floor price at $14,300. 14,000. So if you want to buy a degen ape, 14,000 is the minimum you have to pay. Now, this is the most popular. That's a big super chat. Glenvin, appreciate it. Bad Digital says, cover Moon River. All right, I'll cover that in a little bit. But that means you have to spend 14,000, right? But here's the thing. This is the most popular NFT on Solana. And 14,000 may seem like it's an incredible amount of money, which it is. But if you check out OpenSea and you look at something like Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is, I guess it would be comparable because it's about apes and monkeys and similar, you could see that the floor price of Bored Ape Yacht Club is at 39.22 ETH. That's the floor price. Do you know what that equates to? 39.22, let's just times it by 4,000. That is $157,000 for a floor price of Bored Ape Yacht Club. And CryptoPunks, you could argue that the floor price is already like 200, 300,000. There's none shown here because basically no one sells it anymore. You have to go privately to buy these. Like Visa bought one, right? That they had to like basically find someone to sell it to them privately. None of them are even being sold on OpenSea anymore. So, but the second most popular one is this. So that has a floor of $156,000 versus $14,000 for Solana for Degenerate Ape Academy, right? So you gotta figure, well, if this gets as popular as the other one, then the ceiling is quite high, quite high. And this also, like I said at the beginning, you know, as Solana's price goes up, right, this floor price, even though the floor price itself for Sol does not go up, the dollar amount goes up too, right? So it makes them more valuable as Solana's price goes up. But, you know, as more and more people ape into NFTs like this, it will also cause people to have to buy Sol to be able to put into the NFTs, right? And in reverse, it's going to cause Solana's price to go up too. So they go hand in hand. So that's the biggest one. But you have other ones like SolPunks. And what's the floor price on this? If this comes up. I mean, this site's a little slow. Like a few times when I clicked into it, it couldn't load. Here, Salamas. This also caused some craze recently. But this floor price is reasonable. 4.7. Okay, Solana Sol. So 4.7 times 172. That's still $808. Okay, to buy one of these pixelated art. So you have that, and then you let's see if we can get SolPunks to load. I remember it was like at 12 or 13 Sol, but it's just can't load. Bold Badger Squad is at 4.2. Right, so this is over close to 1,000, and then you have other ones, Kaiju cards, right? This is at 2.9. I mean, so they're starting to pick up. They're starting to pick up Soul Bears. This is at 4 already, so this is getting popular, right? So another way to make money from Solana without actually buying more Solana is actually to buy NFTs. Now, I have not bought any. But I'm telling you, I'm starting to really like get the itch. You know, I'm starting to see so many people get involved, right? And just making, quite frankly, a shitload of money by getting involved with it. And I plan on doing so because I do hold a lot of Solana. So why not, right? Buy some NFT. That's what I plan on doing. So not saying that you guys should all just FOMO in NFTs. If it's not right for you, then don't think about it. And there is a learning process to it. So for example, those of you guys that are used to MetaMask, you'll have to download something different called Phantom, which is for Solana and their ecosystem. But then with it, it works the same way. It's a browser-based wallet that you have to install. Then you can, of course, buy, trade, sell, and even store collectibles like NFTs within it. So there's a learning curve to it. It's not for everyone. It's not as simple as going on Coinbase and buying SOL, right? So there's a learning curve to it. But for those of you guys that are looking for some other ways to make money or profit from Solana's rise and their popularity, you may want to look into some of these NFTs, which are blowing up. Some are still relatively cheap, but something like Degen Ape is definitely starting to climb up, and they're still considered cheap, especially when you compare them to what's going on OpenSea, which is just insane at this point. All right, that's pretty much it. Overall, Bitcoin is still moving in the right direction. Solana still moving in the right direction. I'm still waiting for Cardano to kind of pick up recently. A little bit of FUD with Cardano, whether or not they could do DeFi altogether. They will get past it, but right now it's kind of their boring period, right? Ethereum, still waiting for it to break above 4,000, which should be coming in the near future. But today, you have some good days. For example, Theta. For those of you guys that are Theta fans, up a good 16%. Also, I talked about FTT, right? They have continued to rise up. That was a video that, I talked about them in a video earlier today, right? And you know what? I think there's going to be a lot more greens coming up. All right, let's do some Q&A. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of these super chats. Scrolling up. A lot of big super chats today. A lot of people making a lot of money. That's the reason why. Geostone, appreciate it. DeFi Kingdom. People keep saying DeFi Kingdom, DeFi Kingdom, DeFi Kingdom, but it didn't come up. It doesn't come up. Yeah, I'm spelling that right. It's just it's too quick. It's too fast. It's not even listed on here. Someone else mentioned about Moon River. What is this? Yeah, I've seen this before. Smart contracts on Kusama, parachain on Kusama, incentivized Canary Network, new code ships to Moon River first, where it can be tested, right? And then it moves to Polkadot. I mean, something like this, Bad Digital, it's useful, but it's not very interesting. It's not very interesting from the sense of, as a retail investor, as someone coming in, you're like, okay, I want to learn, I want to get into crypto, right? And they're learning about, okay, so this is like something that helps projects get on board Kusama, and then once this is okay, then it moves to Polkadot. I mean, it's not easy to understand, and it's not very, very interesting. Like it's just, for me, I think there's more interesting projects out there. Frontier is a DeFi, supposed to be a DeFi app. They were supposedly they had some kind of good partnership with Avalanche. I haven't heard anything about that. They were supposed to do staking for Avalanche. And I think Avalanche was tired of waiting. They just kind of did their own liquid staking with the DeFi projects. So I don't know about Frontier anymore. They were very hyped up before, and I don't know if they've come back or not. Let me check. 24 hours good. So they have not come back yet. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Curate. You asked about NFT Marketplace. No, not really. Curate is supposed to be a DeFi marketplace, and they're unproven right now. Unproven. They need to come out with their dApps, and they need to show. Actually, first of all, they need to come out their apps so people will use it, and then people will see how good it is. So too early for that. You think Parse is a good Solana project? It's decent, but also not very interesting. It helps developers create, like bots and warning systems in a very visual way. But again, for retail investors, not very interesting. It's very useful, just not very interesting. Kelvin, George is number one. Appreciate it. Hey, you're sending some big super chats. I appreciate it. Link and Dot finally making moves. Appreciate that. And yes, they are. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. You know, Chainlink, I've always said, just stick with Chainlink. As any oracles, you know, that I get asked about, I'm like, just go with Chainlink. All right, you guys are going so fast, I can't even keep up here. Sol and Quan are very hot right now, but you could take a good look at TrueBit protocol. Could be huge long term. All right, but I can't do a good look at it right now. Do all crypto millionaires eat caviar every meal like Carl does? I find it gross. I'll tell you what, I don't, and I have no intentions of trying it. So no. To answer your question, no. If you like all these layer ones, what do you think about KDA? They're based in Cadena. I think they're created by JP Morgan guys. I think they're the claim to fame, so I don't know. You know, here's the problem. All right? The reason why you're asking about it, and the reason why people keep asking about these random coins like Frontier, which I know a little about, but the reason why you're asking is because you're seeing it pump up 17%. And now you're wondering if anything fundamentally changed that makes it worth getting into or FOMOing in. And the answer is no. No, nothing. A lot of these simply have their times. They start pumping up. There's pump groups that pump them. Maybe they release good news, but ultimately nothing has really changed to cause them to go up that much. But as for them, you know, they were created by the guys who create JP Morgan chain, right? Supposed to be a very fast chain focused on DeFi. And it's very similar to 100 other projects that's out there. So, yeah. API 3, not a fan of. Eternity, also not a fan of. API 3 is Oracle. What is this? Did you spell it wrong, I think? Oh, wait, no. I was thinking about Eternity. I don't know about this one. If this could come up. Blockchain for secure decentralized. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's 100 different blockchains that, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about them, but there's just so many new ones that are all fast and feeless and secure and meant for DeFi. Okay, the main purpose is DeFi. But can any of them actually really break out? Can any of them actually really catch the attention of the masses and continuous upward trend, right? That could actually go beyond just random pumps. That's the question mark, and it's really hard to detect. And I know a lot of people are like trying to find the next Solana, and you could try and find, and you may never find one, right? Sometimes you just stick with what is in front of you, and it works, right? Just like people are always looking for, I don't know, just example. People are always looking for the next Tesla. People are talking about all these upcoming EV companies that can overtake Tesla and this and that, and Tesla is done and dooms or whatever. None of them are close. None of them have outperformed Tesla, right? You could speculate, but none of them have come anywhere close, right? So it's kind of like the same thing. And I know like people love to look at all these small, new, promising blockchains, protocols, I should say, right? But sometimes you have the winners in front of you. Sometimes the best move is just to stay with the winners. How would you divide the ratio percentage of DOT and Kusama? I would put 50-50 in that. Because Kusama does tend to move faster than Polkadot, right? But that could flip. Right now, because all the parachains is on, parachain auctions on Kusama, but when it goes to Polkadot, it could flip. So I'd say go 50-50. Let me see. No tax on NFT art. No, anything that you make a profit from, there is tax. Unless you just hold it. You just hold it. Noah says, I just got my first NFTs this week. It takes a lot of research to avoid getting a shitty one. That is true. That is true. You know, people that still say, yeah, NFTs are dumb or they're tulips. They may be tulip. They may be overhyped. But you know what? NFTs are no different than any other collectible or art that the value is in the eyes of the beholder, right? There's always going to be people that collect certain things. So I think Solana, I mean, not Solana, NFTs are going to be the same thing. All right. Football Spain says, you are absolutely right. The biggest winners recently have been mid to high market caps. Instead of the small ones, less risks, have been more rewarding. Yeah, I know, it's just true. It's just true. Now, it does not mean that you should just always be like that, right? You can diversify. You get in some of the smaller ones, right? But I say what I say because I feel like a lot of people, newcomers, they're like, oh, I missed the Cardano train. Oh, I missed the Solana train. So I have to get in something that is much smaller, thinking that, they're going to catch up that way. It doesn't always work out that way. It doesn't. The winners are just right in front of your face, right? There's plenty of gains to be had, right? So just stick with it. But, throw in a little few micro cap, small caps in there. Wouldn't hurt if they do well, right? And they catch on fire. They will definitely help you. They will definitely help you. What made me switch to live coin watch? When I was using CMC, I've been using CMC for years, but, a few months ago, there was just a lot of problems. CMC was going through a lot of problems, so. And live coin watch reached out to me and said, hey, you want to partner up? I'm like, sure, why not? AMP to $1 possibly this cycle. I'm going to say yes. $1? No. I was going to say yes, but no. It's not going to go up 20x in my opinion. And the reason why it's not, because it's already at 2.5 billion market cap. If it was at 240 market cap, 240 million, yes. But it's not going to go 20x this cycle. Exchange BNB for Solana, that's up to you. I don't think anyone should give up on BNB. Yes, it's slower moving these days, but don't discount Binance. They still have a large ecosystem, and the biggest trading volume is still on Binance by far. And they still have Binance.us, which plans on IPOing in a few years. Tom, I appreciate that. I always try to mix it up for you guys. Even though I'm talking about the same topics, or same coins, I try to mix it up, present new information. And for VeChain for short-term gains, VeChain. I like VeChain. I think VeChain is very undervalued. Very undervalued. Will you sell all of your ADA end of the year or hold them? No, I plan on taking some off the top. And that's across the board. So as Bitcoin breaks through, 64,000 gets to 70, 80, 90, 100. Probably every 10,000, I will take off 10% off the top across the board. So that way, by the time it reaches its high, right? And we could have a blow off top, or we just come down with a small correction or something. Just want to make sure I have cash on the side to be able to buy the dips. It's that simple. Recently I've been getting some emails or comments like, George, why don't you just keep holding it forever, ever? Yeah, vast majority of it will be hold forever, right? But I do want to make sure I have a good amount of money on this side for corrections. Whether or not it's a crypto correction or Bitcoin correction or a stock market correction that drags everything down, or real estate correction, right? You have to have some cash on the side to be able to buy the dips and DCA with. Otherwise, you kind of just, left missing the bag, right? So that's what I plan on doing. Uniswap price prediction. Uniswap will be around for quite some time. It'll continue to go up with the market. So, 3 to 5x, I think, definitely possible. Phantom, could it crack 20? It is doing very well. Cracking 20 is going to be hard. That's going to be at Matic levels. I don't think it could get that high that fast, but can it crack, like, say, top 30 or 40. Yeah, like right now it's at 44. Can it break into the 40s and be in the 30s? Yeah, I think that's possible. Cracking 20 is a little bit tough. Do you think VeChain can still hit $1? Yes. When to take profits out? Well, Lena just shared with you how I plan on doing it. So there you go. Ramp is still ramping up. That is good. I don't have any thoughts on Clover Finance, unfortunately. The market is just really starting to rumble. Think ahead 2 years. Don't think ahead 2 years. Think ahead 5 to 10 years. I know no one wants to think that. I know that. I know no one wants to think that. Everyone coming into the game because they're hearing it. You're hearing about Bitcoin on TV or hearing from their coworkers, their friends, and everyone wants to jump in to make a quick buck. I know that. And a lot of you guys tuning in will say, I don't have time for 5 years. I want to become a millionaire this year, right? You can make a substantial amount of money, but if you're coming in to try to make like $1 million within a month, you're going to wreck yourself. That's how crypto is, right? As good as the gains are, there's so much to it, right? You have to be able to live through the volatility. You have to stand that, the mental pressures, right? And some of you guys have lived through that. Even a few months ago when Bitcoin dropped to 28,000, right? When things were looking bleak and all media FUD was saying it's going to go lower to 10,000. That took a lot of guts to stay the course in DCA and buy the dips. And we're basically twice as high, right? 100% higher from that point, right? But as fast as these have moved, they have most of these big caps and mid caps and small caps have not gone up like 10 million% within a short amount of time. They have done tremendously well. 50, 100%, 300%, which is incredible. But there's too many people that is looking at faster gains. So they'll try leverage or they'll try to get into microcaps and try to get into pump groups and stuff like that. Don't do that. You get yourself wrecked, right? So really think about investing, holding 3, 5, 10 years, right? Because the entire market cap is going to be much higher. And in terms of adoption, growth, usage, it's only going to go up from here. Despite price, despite volatility, it's going to be so much bigger and better than where things are now. So there you go. That's the best advice I could give to you guys is really, be patient. Don't try to make $1 million or $1 billion within a month. The faster you try to gain, right, the more you go wreck yourself. The key thing is to let the gains come to you. You buy the right projects, you follow the right strategy or schedule, and you hodl and you wait for that life-changing wealth to come to you without any pressure. Honestly, that's the way to do it. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. You know what? Bitcoin is still coming up, 52.7. Looks like it wants to crack 53. President Naive of El Salvador is probably still buying more Bitcoin. Tomorrow and this week will be a very interesting week. Very interesting week. Whether or not Bitcoin will continue and try to break through 60,000 this week, or will it falter? You know what? I'm leaning towards going upwards because we have been steady. We had a hard time breaking this 49.5 for quite some time, and we finally broke through. It seems like we are going to get that next leg up. And also something like Solana, still going up. Almost 175 now. I started a stream at 170, and now it's 175, continues to go up. But you know what? Another way to make money, and one that I'm going to be exploring a lot more of, is NFTs. I've been sitting aside for quite some time. I felt like I missed a little bit too much. I'm going to explore more of it. And I do think Solana, has a good NFT marketplace or collection of marketplace. No, they have a good marketplace, but there's more than one. But there's a good collection of NFTs already that have made a name for themselves and get very popular. So this is another way that you could profit from Solana, all right, without buying more SOL. Or you could continue to just keep buying SOL. It's up to you, but just want to bring that up. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, my usual time, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, Have a good one, guys. Take care.